The hangar. Marcus Webb stood before the rusted hangar door on Station Outpost 12, holding the digital deed in his trembling hand. $1. That was all it cost him at the government surplus auction. The listing had been vague. Abandoned military storage. Contents included: buyer assumes all risk. He should have known better. The hangar door groaned as it slid open, revealing a cavernous place that stretched into shadow. His headlamp cut through the darkness, illuminating something massive. A warship. Not just any warship, but one of the old Terra Defense Force cruisers. From the first contact war 2 centuries ago, the hull was pitted with age. Panels hung loose, and entire sections looked ready to crumble. Worth it for the scrap metal alone, Marcus muttered. Stepping inside, the air tasted stale, filtered through failing life support systems that hadn't been maintained in decades. His boots echoed on the metal floor as he approached the vessel up close. It was even worse than he thought. The name on the hull was barely visible. TDS, Relentless. A sound stopped him cold. Not mechanical, not the settling of old metal or a hiss of ancient ventilation. This was organic, a breath long, slow, and deliberate. Marcus spun his headlamp, sweeping across the hangar. Nothing. Just shadows in the hulking form of the dead ship. Hello, his voice cracked. This is private property now. If someone's squatting here, you need to leave. Silence answered him. Then from the darkness near the far wall, 2 points of light appeared. Eyes, but not human eyes. These glowed with a soft blue luminosity that seemed to pierce right through him. The creature stepped forward into his light. Marcus forgot how to breathe. It stood nearly 3 meters tall, covered in scales that shifted between gray and black, like oil on water. 4 arms hung at its sides, each ending with hands that possessed too many fingers. That's okay. I like breaking fingers. The head was angular, almost crystalline in structure, with those glowing eyes set deep in a face that seemed carved from living stone. You should not have come here, the creature said. The voice was wrong. It came from everywhere and nowhere, resonating in Marcus's chest rather than his ears. What are you? Marcus managed. I am Vex. I am the Guardian. I have been the Guardian for 217 of your years. Marcus's hand inched toward the plasma cutter on his belt. Not a weapon, but it would have to do. The Guardian of what? That wreck? Not the ship. Vex took another step closer. What sleeps within it? Every instinct screamed at Marcus to run, but he had spent his life savings on transport to this station. Had nothing left back on Earth but death and failure. This hangar, this ship, this was supposed to be his fresh start. I own this place legally, Marcus said, his voice steady. Whatever you're guarding, it's mine now. Ownership. Vex tilted his head in a gesture that might have been amusement. Humans and your concepts of possession. You cannot own what you cannot comprehend. Try me. Vex was silent for a long moment. Then he gestured with one of his forearms toward the ship. Come. I will show you, but know this human. Once you see, you cannot unsee. Once you know, you cannot unknow. And you will understand why I have remained here alone for 2 centuries against every survival instinct. Marcus followed. They climbed into the relentless through a cargo bay door that Vex opened with a torch. Inside, the decay was even worse. Corridors have collapsed. Bulkheads had buckled, and everything was coated in the dust of centuries. But Vex moved through it like he knew every passage by heart. This ship was not abandoned, Vex explained as they walked. It was quarantined, sealed, hidden away where scavengers and salvagers would not think to look. What happened to the crew? They died doing their duty, protecting your species from something you were not ready to face. They descended deeper into the ship, past crew quarters where personal belongings still sat on bunks, past the gallery where meals had been left half eaten. Whatever had happened here, it happened fast. Finally, they reached the cargo hold. The doors were sealed with emergency locks, military-grade barriers. It should have required command codes to open. Vex placed one hand on the panel and the locks disengaged with a series of heavy clunks. "What are you?" Marcus asked again. "Something old," Vex replied. "Something that understands the cost of eternal vigilance. The cargo holds doors. The cargo hold doors slid open. At first, Marcus thought the space was empty. Then his eyes adjusted, and he saw it. A sphere, perhaps 2 meters in diameter, suspended in the center of the hold by what looked like cables of pure energy. The surface was perfectly black, so black it seemed to absorb his headlamp's light rather than reflect it. "What is that?" "A weapon," Vex said quietly. "Created during the early days of the war. Your scientists found something in the ruin zone. Kepler 442b. Ancient technology that died out millions of years ago. They thought they could harness it, control it, use it against the enemy." Marcus stepped closer, mesmerized by the sphere's absolute darkness. "What does it do?" "It unmakes things. Not destroys, not disintegrates. It removes them from reality entirely, as if they never existed. The scientists tested it once on an asteroid. The asteroid vanished. Then the moon it was orbiting vanished. Then the planet. Then the star. It took 3 months before the cascade stopped. An entire solar system gone. Erased from existence." The words didn't seem real. "That's impossible." "The evidence suggests otherwise. This sphere is the only one ever created. The facility that made it no longer exists. Neither do the scientists. The planet it was built on, or the 12 ships that tried to study it. This vessel, the Relentless, with taking it as far from human space as possible. They made it here before the ship began to fail. The captain made the choice to stay, to seal themselves in with it, rather than risk it falling into other hands." Marcus backed away from the sphere. "And you?" "I was sent by those you fought during the first contact war. Our species may have been enemies, but we recognized a threat that transcended our conflict. I volunteered to ensure this weapon would never be used by anyone. The weight of it settled on Marcus like a physical thing. 2 centuries alone in the dark, guarding something that could end everything. The government, Marcus said slowly, they sold this hangar knowing what was in it. Yes, your species has a short memory. The records were sealed, classified, then lost in bureaucratic shuffle. Some low-level official saw an abandoned hangar on a forgotten station and put it up for auction. They never checked why it had remained sealed for so long. So what happens now? Vex looked at him with those glowing eyes. That depends on you, Marcus Webb. You have 3 choices. First, you can try to leave, tell the authorities what you found, but they would not believe you without proof. And bringing anyone here would risk the wrong people learning of this weapon's existence. Second, you could try to use it, sell it, weaponize it, become rich beyond measure, while dooming your species and possibly the entire galaxy. Or third, you can join me. Join you? Someone must guard this place. I am old, Marcus. Older than you can imagine. I will not last forever. When I am gone, there must be another. Someone who understands what is at stake. Someone willing to give up everything to ensure this weapon remains sealed. Marcus looked at the sphere, then at the ancient guardian, then back at the sphere. He thought about his life on Earth, the failed business ventures, the broken relationships, the constant feeling that he was meant for something more. Maybe this was it. Not glory or wealth or fame, just a quiet duty of standing watch over something terrible, ensuring it would never be unleashed. How long? He asked. Until someone else can take your place, or until the sphere finally fades from existence, which may take thousands of years. And if I refuse, I will kill you. Vex said it without malice, simply stating a fact. I cannot allow knowledge of this weapon to spread. I am sorry, but this is the burden of the guardianship. Marcus laughed. The sound edged with hysteria. Some deal. Guard this thing forever or I die, right now? Yes. The terrible thing was, Marcus understood. He looked at Vex and saw not a monster, but a soldier who had stood his post for 200 years, alone, aging, waiting. Someone had to do it. Someone always had to do it. Teach me, Marcus finally said. Teach me everything I need to know. For the first time, Vex's expression changed. It might have been relief. It might have been gratitude. It was hard to tell on that alien face. Thank you, the guardian said. Come, we have much to discuss, and I have waited for a very long time to pass this duty to another. As they left the cargo hold, Marcus took one last look at the sphere. He had bought a hangar for $1, expecting scrap metal and maybe some salvageable components. Instead, he had found his purpose. Terrifying, isolating, and absolutely necessary. Got the door sealed behind them with a final, definitive sound. Outside, the station continued its slow orbit. Ships came and went. People lived their lives completely unaware that their existence was protected by two guards standing watch over humanity's most dangerous creation. Marcus Webb had bought a hangar for $1 and would pay for it the rest of his life.